question.
Was that Tony? I'm sorry, Tony.
Sorry, yeah.
Okay.
Our mayor says we have a budget surplus this year or something like that. Now, to me, as long as you have bonds outstanding, you don't have a surplus.
Right.
You're still broke.
Right. And it didn't take into account the deferred maintenance bill of $856 million, I think it is. It didn't take into account the unfunded pension liabilities. This was just a small operating budget. So I wasn't real thrilled with that press release myself.
Yeah.
There's a lot of other issues. I mean, the pension liability and the deferred maintenance alone is getting close to $3 billion.
To me, the thing to do, if you do ever get any money, is pay down debt.
Mm-hmm.
You know, don't go creating new projects. Pay down what you owe, you know, to get in a fiscal responsibility position.
And take care of the services we're
Yeah.
supposed to provide and get away from stuff that isn't the city's responsibility.
We were in the same business at one time. I was in it for 37 years. And I owned my own business just like you, and I worked for people, did the whole thing. But I didn't buy equipment if I didn't have the money,
Exactly.
you know. So,
And if I did buy the equipment, I didn't figure that into my budget for the next year because I just got new equipment. I'm not going to need to buy new equipment again.
yeah,
And that's the way it works now with baseline budget.
yeah,
And that needs to change.
yeah.
Mary?
Mary Gillis. Well, one thing I want to correct you on. You do have somebody in small business, Lori Zapp, okay? And she's good.
The majority down there have it.
Okay, but she's good. And Kevin Faulkner goes along.
Yeah, and
So-
Carl DeMaio also has his
Yeah,
own
oh yeah,
business.
and so you've got,
3 out of the 8.
you gotta get a few more, but I have a strange question to ask, and I'm
I like those
curious
kind of
about
questions.
this. Some of the mayoral candidates
Mhm.
are advocating going in to try to fix the school system. Now, if, say they got in and it would eventually come down to the city council would probably be, how do you feel about that?
I don't think it's the city's responsibility.
Oh, thank goodness.
We have an elected school board, we have state bureaucracies and federal bureaucracies all involved with the education
They've got
system.
problems, but they've got to fix them themselves.
To throw another bureaucracy on top to try and solve what is, I think, a bureaucratic problem is not the way to go. What the city can do, make sure the neighborhoods are safe, encourage people to be involved in education, step up the police programs that we do with the schools. You know, I mean, I was a patrol boy when I was a kid. I remember doing those kind of things. That's the stuff the city can do to help with education.
Does that exist anymore?
Yes, it does. It still is.
You ever see it? That's why I asked.
Foster has them. I still see them driving down the neighborhood when they blow their little whistle and put the sign out and the white pants and the red shirt, just like we used to do 40 years ago. Yes, ma'am. Ellen, right?
I have a question.
Yes, ma'am.
It would be something you can't control now, but what would you do about it in the future, were you elected? You've seen these huge water tanks pulled up along these newly made meters to draw off water. When I would go to my post office down Bisbee Street, there would be 3 lined up there, ready to go. And they work from, I don't know how early they start because I don't get it started till 8:30, but I know they're there. And they're there as late as 5 or 5:30, still draining water that we have paid to purify, to drink, to be healthy.
Right. That's from the Sunrise Power Line.
And who made the contract? Now, I have called Marty, my district lady. I have been referred to her helper. She has politely told me that Marty can't do anything about it because the deal is made between San Diego Gas and Electric and the Water District. Well, San Diego Gas and Electric is right here in San Diego, isn't it?
Mhm.
Well, then why doesn't she do something?
Yeah, there's a lot of issues, and part of it is what we were talking back to streamlining the process. I mean, those trucks are originally ideal to go down and use the reclaimed water down at Otay.
But they never did it.
That's because they're having problems with the land use permitting, the conditional use permitting, a whole bunch of other things. To
That was another thing. She said, oh, they plan to have it ready to draw
About the time the Sunrise Power Link is complete.
when it's all finished and they've used all our water. What can we do about it as citizens?
keep contacting, I forgot to turn this off, sorry folks.
They turned it on.
Yeah, I think I would remember after all these things we've done.
But it won't.
My apologies, it's off now. And John knows this real well, John, who's helped out a lot, John has been very involved trying to get that problem taken care of, to the point of taking chunks of our street down and dropping it off at the city council, begging them to do something about it. We got them to move a little bit and change some of their areas, but we've been told the same thing, right, John, that until PowerLink's done, we're pretty much at their mercy, right?
Yes, unfortunately.
Yeah. But I would encourage to keep contacting not only Marty, but other people, the mayor, others, trying to contact them to get them to do something about it. But we've been pretty much told the same thing, that until sunrise is over, you're pretty much stuck.
Yeah, I know.
We did get them to repair the street and do a few other things, but I mean, it's, yes, sir.
Excuse me, just happened to touch a nerve with that. I was told, of course, we get such good response from our, council person's office. We're the orphans out here. Well, it's not illegal to sell the water to them. I says, what does that have to do with anything?
Right.
And that's their response. Well, it's not against the law to sell them water. Secondly, they says, well, any street damage that these trucks do, SDG&E will repair
Right.
when the
Which is
project's
complete.
done. So now we've got to put up with chuckles in the streets for a year, 18 months, perhaps 2 years, while they run these trucks back and forth. And our council person just says, well, when they're through and she's out of office.
Well, she'll be in office in just a District 9.
Well, okay.
God
They'll-
bless them.
But she could care less if they fix these streets or not.
Yeah.
That's one of the biggest.
And I think she should be going to SDG&E and asking them to try and get those streets fixed during
Yeah,
the process.
she could be on their back and.
And I actually kind of wish she was still running in this neighborhood. It'd be easier to raise money. Yes, sir.
When we moved here in 1975, Lakeshore terminated right at the La Mesa boundary on where it became Baltimore. The road on Lakeshore Drive has been refinished when they did the undergrounding several years ago. La Mesa has repaved their portion of Baltimore. There's a finger of Lake Murray that comes out right at the dip,
Uh-huh, I know it well.
which it's, I drive that often every day, and
That's
it's
great
kind of
for
like
you.
a slalom course to avoid the
Potholes.
Mhm.
pit mark, or
Yeah, the potholes, yeah, that
Potholes,
dip is
sure.
very nasty.
It would seem like it's been a problem over time for the proper people in the city to become aware that they own the dip.
They do.
Mhm.
I called them and told them they do own it. Because I blamed poor old La Mesa for it. And they said, that's not ours, it's the city's. And they want it because of the watershed. And they had, actually, La Mesa filled in some of the potholes for us
Probably.
when they did
But
Baltimore.
I just want to make sure you were aware of this little
I know exactly where it is. Yeah.
thing.
And what I would like to do is, we were talking about managed competition earlier, and we talked about managing, bidding out city services. I'd like to see 3 different companies working on it. I'd like to see the city union group working on it. I'd like to see a couple of private firms working on it. Give them an incentive at the end to do a good job and a fast and speedy job, and see who wins, and then go from there. That's what we do in businesses. I'm in sales. We like putting competitions in place because it gives people incentive to go. It's got that nugget hanging there at the end of the rainbow. That's what we need to do at the city, instead of just having the people who are down there right now, one company, that's it, the only ones doing the repair. I'd really like to see them spread out and try and put competition back into it.